Hey everyone, this is Mr. High. In this video, we're going to learn how to find surface area of cylinders. Surface area, just to repeat, is the material needed to cover the outside of this figure, of this cylinder. So cover the top, cover the bottom, and then to cover this middle section that wraps around, they refer to this as the lateral area. So it would be like wrapping a present that's in the shape of a cylinder and just covering the outside. The amount of material needed to do that is the surface area. Now for surface area cylinder, I'm going to share a formula with you that can be used to find the surface area of the cylinder. To start, I'm not going to use the formula. I'm going to show you how to do it using a net and how using the net actually does use the formula, but we're going to kind of get to that point after our first example that we go through. But here is a formula to find surface area of a cylinder. So just breaking down surface area of the cylinder once again and kind of leading to the formula. Here's the cylinder that we start with. When we draw net, here's what the net would look like. So we're starting off with the two circles. So this capital B stands for the area of the base, which is what these circles are called. So capital B, area of the base. So there's two of these, that's why they're multiplying it by 2. And we have already learned that area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So that would be one of the circles. We would multiply it by 2 to get area of both circles since the circles are identical. Then comes this lateral area, which, as you can see in the picture, is this blue part that wraps around the cylinder. So this side is actually the side that wraps around this circle right here. Okay, if you can imagine peeling off the label of a soup can, this is the side that goes around it. And we know that the distance around a circle is called the circumference. So this side of the rectangle in the middle of the cylinder is the circumference of the circle. And we can use the formula pi times diameter to find that circumference. However, that is not the area of this middle section. That is simply just this side. The other side is the height of the cylinder. So we have to do circumference times the height of the cylinder to find the actual area of this rectangle that wraps around the middle. Then we add all of those different areas together. So the area of both bases, both circles, plus the area of this lateral area in the middle. Here's an example done for us. So we can see in the cylinder it has a radius of 4 and a height of 3. So they have just simply used the formula, plug in 4 for R wherever you see it in the formula, plug in 3 for height. And then they waited to plug in the 3.14 for pi until the very, very end. I would suggest plugging that in right away. Just when you plug in the radius and the height, plug in 3.14 right here and right here for pi, and then work it out. Let's do one on our own. We're going to start off by drawing a net. So we know that we have two bases, two circles with a radius of 8, and we know that this middle section is going to unfold or unwrap into a long rectangle. So the rectangle is going to be 11 inches on this side, and then it's going to unwrap to look something like this. And then we know we're going to have these circles with with radius of 8. So we know we're going to have a circle there, and we'll put the other bottom base over here, and then we'll just label everything. So we know that these have radius of 8 inches, and we know that the height of this is 11 inches. So we're going to do this without the formula, and I'm going to show you how we get the formula from this. So let's start with the circles. So the circles, we know the formula for area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So let's plug in 3.14 for pi, plug in 8 for the radius, and then we have already learned that you must do the exponent first. So 8 squared is 64. So we're going to do 3.14 times 64. find the area of the circle. 3.14 times 64 is 200.96. And there are two of these. So this is just the area of one of these. So we're going to actually multiply that by 2 and get that the area of both of these circles is 401.92. So this is the area of the circles, both circles. Now we need to find the area of the middle section, the lateral area. Before we can calculate the lateral area, we need to know this side of this rectangle, which we've already said is the circumference. So we need to calculate the circumference, pi times the diameter of the circle. We don't know the diameter of the circle, it gives us the radius. We do know that the diameter is twice the radius, so 8 times 2 is 16. So we're going to use 16 for the diameter of this circle. And then we'll do 3.14 times 16 to get the circumference, which ends up being 50.24. So again, before we can do anything to find the lateral area, we have to find circumference and then multiply that by the height of the cylinder, which we know is 11. And now that we know the circumference, we can plug in 50.24 for circumference. The height is 11, and then we can multiply 50.24 times 11 to get 552.64, and this is the area of the middle. So total surface area, we have to take the area of the circles plus the area, the lateral area in the middle, and add them together. So we get 6, 5, carry the 1, it's going to give us a 4, 5, and we're going to get 954.56 square inches for the surface area of this cylinder. So that we did not use the formula there, but I do want to point out that the formula is actually in our work, we just didn't use it formally. So the formula for surface area of a cylinder is 2 times pi times radius squared plus 2 times pi times radius times height. This right here, this 2 pi r squared, is exactly what we did right here. We did pi times radius squared and got the 200.96. Then we multiplied it by 2. So this 401.92, this is the circles, the area of the circles. 2 times pi times radius times height. Well, 2 times pi times radius is really what we did right here to find the circumference. This is the other circumference formula. The first thing we did was calculate the diameter. We did 2 times the radius, which was 8, to get the 16. So 2 times radius times pi, and this was 50.24. Then we multiplied that 50.24 times the height right here. So this part is the lateral area. So we didn't formally use the formula, but we actually did inside of our work. Do one more, and let's draw a net, but then let's use the formula. So drawing a net, I know it's kind of on its side here. So if you want to flip it right side up onto its base, you can. If you want to leave it like this and draw a net, you can. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to kind of pretend that we flip it back up. So when we unfold it, we get this net with a height of 15. So this is the lateral area, this rectangle that's wrapped around. And then we have our two bases with a radius of 4. So here's one circle. Here's the other circle, radius of 4 centimeters. And then we know this is 15 centimeters. So there's our net. But let's go ahead and let's use the formula on this one, just to see it a different way. So surface area of a cylinder, 2 times pi times radius squared plus 2 times pi times radius times height. And let's plug everything in. So 2 times pi times the radius squared. Radius was 4. So 4 squared plus 2 times another 3.14 times the radius times the height. And what I would suggest doing here is not just going left to right once you start the multiplication process, but multiply the whole numbers together and then worry about the 3.14 at the end. Before we do any of that, we have to do this exponent. So 4 squared is really 16. Everything else I'm just going to copy down just to take it step by step. And here's what I'm talking about. Instead of doing 2 times 3.14 and then multiplying that by 16, do 2 times 16 first. That's 32. We'll multiply that by 3.14 here in a minute. Over here, let's do the whole numbers multiplied together. 4 times 15 I know is 60. Then multiply that by 2. That would be 120. And then I'll save the 3.14 here in a minute. Now let's do the multiplication with pi, or 3.14. So 32 times 3.14 equals 100.48 plus 120 times 3.14, which is 376.8. And now we can add these two things together. And just again, going back to not using the formula, 2 times pi times radius squared. This is the area of the circles. So the area of the two bases of the two circles is 100.48. This is the lateral area. This is the circumference times the height of the cylinder, 376.8. To get the total surface area, we add those two things together. So let's go off to the side, stack them on top of each other, and add. This would have 0. So that's 8, that's 12, carry the 1, 7, 7. 477.28 square centimeters is the total surface area of this cylinder. So there are a couple different ways to find the area, or sorry, the surface area of a cylinder. One, just using the net and formulas for circles and circumference and things like that. And one, actually using the formula for surface area of a cylinder. I hope that no matter which one you choose, you are able to draw a net and you are able to show all of your work. So please do that in the future. Hope this helps with surface area of cylinders. Have a great day.